All right. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for February 27th, 2020. Q's down 4.37% here, down here at the lows. Okay, we got 5 minutes to go. 4.4 now, and SPY down 3.85. Now, as you recall, coming into today, bearish bias. We outlined yesterday what we would have to see in order to expect the selling to be over. We came into today expecting lower prices, just like the day before, expecting rallies to get sold. The line in the sand for us was if we get over yesterday's high. And so after a very similar day, all right, today is going to be the same thing here, over today's high, because we're watching this hourly downtrend, right? This hourly downtrend is what informed us of the bearish bias prior to this gap down. At no point did we end the downtrend, right? And we have just been continuing rallies, continuing to get sold. Okay, so on the Qs and SPY here, continuing lower. I did get a question today, how much do I factor in kind of my take on the news and my take on what's going on? And the answer is it's impossible for me not to be influenced, by my own, concerns and whatever about the pandemic that's going on. But if we just look at the charts and look at what is going on, it gives us a pretty good plan, right? And a more objective approach. So, as much as it's just impossible for me to completely remove myself and look at the charts objectively, sticking to them has really kept us doing the right things, right? And so no surprise today, a lot of the best opportunities this morning were to the downside, okay? And so looking at the really good gaps that we had, FLR was one, and PRGO as well, which James had a really nice call on this afternoon. Here was the FLR gap down here on the daily. Or sorry, FLIR, which actually FLR pretty weak as well, but FLIR, nice gap down here on the daily. So a lot of these really followed through. And actually we talked about earlier in the week when the market has a big gap down, which today was one of them, what should we go after? Things with earnings, things with their own news. Those are most likely to move. Now, unfortunately, today had some tech issues, which took me out of the morning. But in the afternoon, only gave you numbers on one play here in the afternoon, and that is the OGE breakdown. Okay, it was the only thing that I gave you numbers here for this breakdown here following through, as the market also continues to come in as well. Okay, and so, I thought there was a lot to go after this morning, as there has been a lot all week. And so, hopefully, you're doing well, you're able to take advantage. And if not, then at least able to gain some experience and look for areas where you can improve. Now, sometimes, like today, tech issues, kind of not really in my control. I guess I could always consider changing brokers and things like that. But the thing is with, when we go over these charts, and for the most part in the room, we haven't really discussed, really anything about the coronavirus and what's going on. We really just stuck to the stocks, to the market, and what the charts are telling us, right? We haven't really talked about, whatever, how many cases or where it's at or anything like that. The focus has entirely been on the charts, and that's really all that we've needed. You can see that this hourly downtrend, this continuation each day, right? We go over the bias, and after the gap down, the bias was neutral unless we break the lows, and then we're back to bearish, right? Bearish, bearish, expect rallies to get sold, okay? And that bias has remained the same. So, you know, there's a lot kind of to take in, but following the charts, following price has really kept us on the right side of things. So hopefully, you know, for you as well, you've been able to kind of see that and maybe reduce some of the kind of confusion in your own trading and regarding the market. Okay, so we will get to see just where the market's going to close out here, as it is just closing out now. All right, so we are going to be closing here at the lows. All right, market's still looking going into tomorrow like we are going to be bearish. Now, one thing that we could look for tomorrow and into Monday, probably more likely, is that if we get some kind of rally, we put in another sell setup like this, and we actually follow through higher, right? That is going to put us back to neutral, okay? But going into tomorrow, still going to be bearish as we have been for the past week, okay? So I know we've come in quite a bit on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, right? We were bearish just coming into this week, and it's been a very, very bearish week. The hourly will be my guide as to when we might see some kind of bounce. Okay, so of course I'm not going to be in at the bottom, not going to be picking the bottom or calling the bottom, but just going to be letting the hourly guide us. Okay, like we have been. All right. Hope you did well today. Hopefully you didn't have similar tech issues this morning that kept you out of some pretty nice plays this morning, but you know, we'll see what we get tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. All right, have a good evening.